I hate to say it, but the meta Endo farming, wherein you get 2000 Endo per 3 minutes or less, solo run is not the most optimal Endo farming method in Warframe right now. As much as I want to say that this is still the best, many new players right now in Warframe prefer to not just farm one stuff in the game, but get multiple loot in just one farming run. Most of the new missions in Warframe has a pity system, and in general, digital extremes are slowly implementing a one mission to farm it all kind of play in the game. To be honest, while I still think that the Vodianoi node in Sedna Arena, done in Steel Path level, is still the best when it comes to acquiring Endo at the fastest time possible, but that's the problem. You only gain Endo in the mission, and players nowadays seems to dislike farming just one resource over and over again. By the way, before we proceed, I would humbly ask you to support the channel by liking this video and then subscribing and turn on that notification bell. While it's simple, it will help the channel grow and help me out continue my work in YouTube. Thank you so much for your support, and now let's get back into the video. Like I have said earlier, players are now inclined towards farming other loot rather than just getting Endo in one mission. But before anything, I will not be suggesting Railjack mission here. While it's one of the ultimate loot cave when it comes to Endo, the Railjack missions just take long, and you would need a team that is interested in doing Railjack missions, which is kind of rare nowadays. Railjack are good for farming, especially the Void Storm mission, wherein you can also crack relics, gain tons of credits, and Railjack resources, and Railjack parts and mods, which you can use to make your Railjack stronger, or dissolve them and turn them into Endo. But the problem is, it may take some time to finish Railjack mission, and the reality is, you would need to be with a player with good Railjack or have a decent Railjack already to run the mission solo. Honestly, while I think Railjack is also a good option for Endo farming and farming other stuff in the process, still many players don't like the Railjack system, and not everyone is very happy when you mention Railjack to them. There are other Endo farming options in the game right now, but the best in my opinion is the Zariman bounty mission you can do from Quill in the Chrysolith. There are 5 missions available in the Zariman bounty, which are Void Cascade, Void Armageddon, Void Flood, Mobile Defense, and Exterminate. Now, while the Warframe I will be suggesting for these missions can do all 5 missions, we are aiming for the fastest time to gain loot here. So that is why I suggest that you skip any Void Cascade and Void Armageddon missions. Void Flood is super easy with Titania, while Mobile Defense and Exterminate can be done with easy while playing Mesa. Take note that these Warframes are for solo plays, and in team composition, the time you can finish each Zariman bounty could be less, and you can even do the Void Armageddon and Void Cascade if you like. I just don't recommend them since it takes time to finish them up. Another tip that I would suggest is to never do any Zariman mission higher than tier 3. If you are farming and not testing your builds, then it's best to do the level 70 to 75 and below missions. The sweet spot for me is the level 70 to 75, as it provides the best Endo drop. While it's not the highest, but it's the highest number we can get at the fastest time possible. So what else can you get from this mission? This mission is also abundant with Thrax Plasm, which you can use for the Helminth system, or you can also use to make some platinum. If you check out Archimedian Yonta, you can trade Lure Thrax Plasm for things like Arcane Frostbite, which sells you 90 to 95 platinum at max rank. However, I'm just showing you here that there's another use for Thrax Plasm other than just feeding it to the Helminth system, but this is not the biggest platinum making when you are doing Zariman missions. The biggest platinum maker here is the Void Quills, the common reward you get from completing a Zariman mission. Each tier has a corresponding amount of Void Quills, and you can get more by completing mini-side quests within the Zariman missions, just like finding a key and depositing it to a Cephalon or following a key. In addition, ravenous Void Angels that appear in Void Armageddon are guaranteed to drop a Void Plume Quill upon death as an interactable pickup, but like I have said, I suggest that you stay away from this mission if you just want to farm Zariman solo, as it may take a while to finish compared to the other Zariman missions. While it's good to have extra Void Plume Quills, I rarely do side mission within the Zariman, except if it has a side objective of killing Void Angels, as this can also drop Void Plume Pinion, which is necessary for crafting some of the hardest hitting Incarnan weapons in the game, such as the Latum. Also, it does provide tons of Zariman standing, so if you have extra, then you can just use it to max out the faction standing every day. Now, this is where it gets interesting. After you exchange Void Plumes to Archimedian Yonta, Head over Cavallero and purchase either Mult Augmented, Cascadia Overcharge, Emergence Dissipate, Cascadia Flare, or even Cascadia Empower. These are the top-selling arcanes in the Warframe market, and if you've got max of them, then you can sell it for over 100 platinum or more. One of the best arcanes right now is Mult Augmented, and I highly advise you focus on this arcane. Some players are willing to buy max rank for 150 platinum or even 200 platinum. And mind you, this is not only the platinum farming method you get from grinding the Saliman bounty for Endo. In average, you can get about 25,000 Endo for an hour of grinding, which is not bad for the amount of other stuff you get from this farming method. Aside from Endo, you also have a chance to gain Aya, which you can use to buy relics in Prime Resurgence. The concept of buy now and sell later can be imposed on this one. You buy relics from Prime Resurgence now with the Aya you collect, and then sell them once the prices gets high. Basically, the Zariman mission is a one-stop shop for getting platinum, Endo, and other resources, which you might need to craft meta weapons or even use it to satisfy your hellmen. And lastly, let's talk about the builds. As I have said earlier, my recommended warframes for these missions are Mesa and Titania, but this are just for solo plays. If you have a team which has the dedication to do the missions, then consider yourself lucky. But if you are playing solo, then both Titania and Mesa can do these missions with ease. More specifically, Titania specializes in Void Flood missions, while the rest can be taken care of by Mesa. It's kind of funny since the clip I am showing you have the wrong element combination, but still, Mesa shred enemies like butter. I'm using a gas build on Mesa's regulator pistol, but it just doesn't matter. Normally, it would be good to have radiation on both Mesa and Titania's exalted pistols. Not just because most enemies in this mission are weak against radiation, but the Void Angels are also easily killed by the element. Anyway, you won't have any problem with the wrong element dealing against other enemies, such as the Thrax units in this area. Although it's good to mode with Corrosive against these units, still it doesn't matter since they will just melt against Mesa's Peacemaker or Titania's Dex Pixia. So far, I can say that the Zariman bounty missions are one of the best missions to invest your time in playing Warframe right now. It's very rewarding since you won't end up with just one resource needed to upgrade your mods, but also you will gain platinum if you will focus on farming these missions. Just remember, the standings does have limits, so there's no point to half a standings way past 30,000. But if your main goal is to farm Endo in these missions, then the Void Plumes you will stack are just a bonus. Now, I would also love to know what missions are you running right now aside from Void Fisher missions. Those missions that you enjoy and find really rewarding. Let me know in the comments section below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Stay safe, everyone.